Imagine surviving a really brutal attack thousands of years ago, and the weapon that hit you, it stays with you like a permanent part of your body. Well, that's pretty much what archaeologists have just revealed. High up in the Pyrenees Mountains, they found something chilling, a 4,000-year-old human rib. But the really amazing part is what's still stuck inside it, a flint arrowhead.
Yeah, it's quite a find. And what's really fascinating here isn't just, the violence it implies. It's the solid proof of survival. Clear evidence that this person lived on after this really severe injury.
Right, the survival aspect, that's what makes this so compelling, isn't it? So in this deep dive, we're going to journey into this incredible archaeological find from Spain. We'll try to pull out some key insights, not just about, well, ancient violence, but maybe something deeper, about human resilience maybe, and the kinds of stories that only bones can really tell us.
Exactly. These silent witnesses have so much to say.
Okay, so let's unpack this find. Where did it actually come from?
Well, it's from a prehistoric burial site. It's called Roc de les Orenetes.
Roc de les Orenetes. Sounds remote.
It is. It's way up in the Catalan Pyrenees, northeastern Spain. We're talking high altitude here.
How high?
About 6,000 feet, something like 1,836 meters above sea level. Pretty rugged terrain.
Wow. And the main discovery there is this rib bone.
That's the latest headline grabber, yes. A human rib, early Bronze Age, so roughly 4,000 years old. And it has this flint arrowhead just firmly lodged inside it.
But the kicker is, the person didn't die from this immediately.
No, not at all. That's the astonishing part. The bone shows clear signs of healing around the arrowhead.
Healing, so they lived with it.
Yes, they lived for some time afterwards, maybe months, maybe even years, with that piece of flint embedded in their rib.
That's incredible. And I read somewhere they think the person was shot from behind.
Yes, the angle of the arrowhead seems to suggest that. It points to perhaps an ambush or being attacked while fleeing.
And this site, Roc de les Orenetes, it's part of a bigger excavation.
That's right. Excavations have been ongoing since 2019, led by Carlos Tornero, a prehistoric archaeologist. They've found a lot there already. Over 1,000 human bones.
1,000. From how long ago?
The carbon dating puts them between about 4,100 and 4,500 years ago. So firmly in the early Bronze Age.
Okay, so this one rib, amazing as it is, it's part of a much bigger picture at this site.
Exactly. And if we connect it to that bigger picture, well, it starts to tell a larger story. This specific rib, it's not an isolated case of violence up there.
Oh, really? There's more evidence of conflict?
Definitely. There was a study published just this year, 2024, led by a bioarchaeologist, Miguel Angel Moreno, working with Tornero and others. They analyzed skeletons found between 2019 and 2021.
And what did they find overall?
Well, first, the scale. They identified at least 51 people buried in this cave, different ages, both men and women.
51 people.
Okay. And the violence.
Here's the stark finding. They determined that at least 6 of those 51 people were involved in deadly fights. 6 out of 51. That seems, well, quite high for a small community, maybe.
It certainly suggests conflict wasn't rare, and the types of injuries they found, mostly on the upper body, upper arms, ribs, like you might see in close combat, or maybe defensive wounds.
What kind of weapons? Just arrows?
No, different weapons, different materials. It wasn't just one type of attack, and some injuries were, well, quite brutal. There's one case, for example, where a person's forearm had actually been amputated.
Amputated, wow.
Yeah.
That's graphic. Does that tell us anything specific about the fighting, or maybe medical knowledge, or lack thereof?
It certainly highlights the sheer brutality involved. An amputation like that back then. It's hard to imagine surviving it, let alone the fight itself. Taken together, all this evidence points to recurrent violence. Interpersonal violence.
Right up there in the high mountains.
Exactly. At the highest altitudes of the Pyrenees, it really challenges any idea that these remote areas were somehow peaceful or isolated from conflict. It shows that even in these tough conditions, small-scale fights happened and people got seriously injured, sometimes killed.
The nature of the wounds, the upper body focus. Yeah. It does sound personal. Close quarters, maybe fighting over resources, territory, even status.
It's hard to say for sure, but those are all possibilities. Even in seemingly remote places, people have things worth fighting for or reasons for conflict.
So this discovery, it really shifts how we might think about life back then. It's not just about the violence, but that survival story is just incredible. Now, so let's step back. What does this all mean for us, listening today? What can this 4,000-year-old story tell us about, well, about being human?
Well, I think it offers this incredibly rare direct evidence. It's not just guessing about conflict, it's right there in the bones. It gives us these unique glimpses into the lives, the deaths, the whole social world of these Bronze Age mountain communities.
Beyond just the violence, though, that resilience.
Yeah. Absolutely. The resilience is key. Surviving that kind of wound with an arrowhead lodged in you, it's immense. And it does make you wonder, doesn't it, about care. Did someone help this person? Was there some kind of rudimentary medical knowledge or just incredible toughness?
Maybe social support. The community helping someone who was injured.
That's a really important question. Survival like this might imply some level of community care, of interconnectedness. It's not just about individual toughness. It definitely underscores that conflict, sadly, seems to be a recurring theme in human history, pretty much everywhere, even high up in the mountains.
It's quite humbling, really, to think these ancient people faced challenges. Physical trauma, social conflict that maybe aren't so alien to us today. And you mentioned this is ongoing work. This story isn't finished.
No, not at all. This specific rib, the one with the arrowhead, it's going to get a lot more attention. They're planning detailed analysis using X-ray microtomography.
Which is like a super high-res 3D X-ray.
Exactly. It lets you see the internal structure in incredible detail, how the bone healed, the precise position of the arrowhead, plus chemical and DNA analyses.
What could DNA tell us?
Oh, potentially a lot. Their origins, maybe genetic links to other people buried there, perhaps even clues about diet or susceptibility to certain diseases. It really raises this important question, how much more is hidden in these bones? How much more can we learn about the real complex lives of ancient people just by letting these bones speak?
Wow, so this deep dive has really brought us face to face with this incredible story. We have this 4,000-year-old rib, the arrowhead still inside, clear proof not just of violence, but of survival.
Of resilience.
At Roc de les Orenetes, yeah. It paints a much richer, maybe darker, but also more human picture of life in the Bronze Age Pyrenees. It really makes you pause. Yeah. Imagine carrying that physical proof of a brutal attack for the rest of your life. This journey back to the Pyrenees, it really reminds us that, the challenges, the conflicts, but also that sheer will to survive. It connects us, directly connects us to people living thousands of years ago. Maybe it also hints at the kind of community support, the human ingenuity that allowed someone to endure against the odds.
It certainly opens up those possibilities.
So what does this deep dive reveal to you about the enduring human spirit? Something to think about. What else can the ground beneath our feet tell us about these ancient stories of survival, conflict, and maybe hidden support systems?